welcome back to another video brought to you by the Freedom Eagle, political news and commentary with a conservative lean. Before we begin, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy new year. It's been a while since my last post, so welcome to 2021. I hope it's off to a beautiful start and it continues to be prosperous in every aspect. Okay, well, a lot has certainly happened since late December, and I'll try to do my best to touch on those topics in the days to come. While some of which will likely drop off the radar considering news now moves faster than a car turning laps at the Daytona Superspeedway, I'll certainly do what I can. But for now, hey, let's begin with the stupid Kamala Harris. If you're watching this video, that means you have likely had your finger on the pulse of American politics for a good while, and that also likely means you saw this silly video. Let it roll in all of its glory. Kamala Harris talking about her youth and the long-standing tradition of celebrating Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa in her home. Her home. Well, there's about 50 things wrong with her story, including her age, when Kwanzaa actually began, and the talk of her elders gathered around to celebrate Kwanzaa. Kamala's elders celebrating Kwanzaa. Well, just a quick check of her background, and yeah, I don't think her elders, given her ethnicity, their ethnicity, were celebrating Kwanzaa. It's sort of like a vegan working at a meatpacking plant. It probably didn't happen. I mentioned Kamala and Kwanzaa to introduce her latest bit of nonsense that's now been uncovered. Back in October of 2020, Kamala Harris sat down with Elle magazine to do a cover story, no less. Well, during the interview, she spoke about the time she got separated from her parents during a civil rights march in Oakland, California. Well, according to Harris, once her mother found her, she asked her what she wanted, what she needed. Harris said she looked at her mom and said, Fweedom. Yes, Fweedom with a W. Cute, right? Yeah, perhaps that's cute if the whole thing wasn't totally ripped off from a story from Martin Luther King Jr. told some 55 years earlier. Before we get to Dr. King, it's also worth noting that Harris told this very same story in her book, Smart on Crime, that came out back in 2010. She also mentioned it in her 2019 book, The Truths We Hold, An American Journey. Funny how the word truth is in the title, and this story appears in that same book. At any rate, let's go all the way back to 1965 when Dr. King gave an interview with Playboy magazine. During his interview, he told the story of what he witnessed between a black girl, her mother, and a white police officer in Birmingham, Alabama. King said the officer approached and said, "What do you want?" in a rather harsh tone. The little girl piped up and said, "Fweedom." F-E-E-D-O-M. Fweedom. King stated that she couldn't even pronounce the word properly, but she knew what she wanted. King went on to say that the memory of what he witnessed came to his mind often during some of the most difficult situations. Okay, it's a powerful story, it truly is, and I'm sure it provided Dr. King a lot of motivation during his critical fight. However, 55 years later, Kamala Harris is simply using everything she can find to claim as her own. She's not the vice president just yet, but she is a chameleon. I have a feeling that Harris will be trotted out to say whatever she's told to say. She'll play this role one day, that role the next. She'll be black when she needs to be, Asian when she needs to be, an admirer of rap music when she needs to be. Cough, cough, the Tupac story. In many ways, she's the perfect politician. She checks off a lot of boxes and she can play whatever role is asked of her. It won't be authentic, but she can play the role. So I'll now turn it over to you. What are your thoughts about Kamala and her Fweedom and just her act in general? I think it's more than fair to say it's an act at this point, because when she's not stealing something from someone else's critical life experience, she's smoking up and listening to a rapper who hasn't even emerged on the scene yet. Yeah. And when she's not doing all of that, she's cackling at every turn. She's got the greatest or worst high tension stress laugh of all time. It's up there. It's just, yeah. If you've heard it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on this story, Kamala Harris, what role she will fill as vice president outside of the actual job title, and just all of the above on Kamala Harris. Healthy opinions and debate are always welcome. If you enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And until we meet again, we will talk to you later.